Welcome to Junkyard Theory, everybody. Today's guests are all the way from Finland, and if you guys have been up online on any film site during the past 3 4 months, I think even before that, pretty sure you come across uh, a very brutal trailer about a one-man army decimating Nazis. And I got the very man in the house from Sisu, and I also got his son, who starred in Big Game with Samuel L. Jackson. I got Jorma Tommila and Onni Tommila in the house. Aiboan and Moi, gentlemen.
Everyone,
Thank you
and
so
more.
much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Guys, I absolutely love what you guys have done over there in Finland. Like, Finland cinema is a mystery to me. I haven't seen a lot of movies, but Big Game was kind of like my introduction to Finnish cinema, and then Sisu. It the product, from everything from the production value to the acting to even the storylines, it's pure entertainment. And this got me thinking, hey, I wanna get somebody from Finland on the show. And coincidentally, the first Finnish movie that Finland produced movie that I watched was Big Game, with you in the lead role, Onni. And it's a film that captivated my entire family. Actually, we love the movie. We've seen it several times already, and more recently Sisu. So I knew I had to get you gentlemen on the show, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. So talk to me a little bit about your origin story, because you guys come from a film family, don't you?
Yes, that is correct. Actually, Jalmari Helander, who directed Rare Exports and Big Game and Sisu, he's my uncle. So he's my mother's brother, and also my my mother's second brother Juuso has also been working with Jalmari in these movies.
Hmm.
So it's like a family family business.
It's a family
And
business, yes.
yeah, haluatko sä kertoa jotain, miten sä lähdit mukaan kuin Jalmarin töihin tai näihin? Voin kääntää.
No, mä oon tehnyt 1990-luvulta saakka, eli jo kuinka kauan siitä aikaa, yli 30 vuotta filmejä Suomessa. Ja
So Jorma has been acting since the 90s, so 30 years in Finnish films.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
niin itse asiassa Jalmari on mun vaimon veli. Ja mä oon niin kuin työskennellyt Jalmarin kanssa niin kuin Jalmarin joka elokuvassa ja ihan alusta saakka melkein tehnyt töitä Jalmarin kanssa.
And Jorma has been working with Jalmari like since day one, from the first productions that Jalmari ever had. And of course, so when my mom and Jorma started dating, that's how he got to know Jalmari.
Right. So you started dating first and then got to know
Yes.
the brother and started making movies. Okay. That's fun.
Yes, and about my origin, I think Jalmari said something like that when I was 4 or 5, he watched me play with some toys, and he just thought to himself that there is something something special in this boy. I don't know what he exactly saw. Maybe it was like my imagination or something. And then Jalmari wanted me to act in a commercial that he did, and then a few short films when I was like probably 5 or 6 at that time. And maybe that's why then I got to play in rare exports as well.
Yeah.
And
I
big
think
game.
I think Kate Blanchett said that Rare Exports is one of her favorite films, right? At some point.
Yeah, I think that is true. I read about that.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about you had worked in short film from like a very young age, and then moving into feature films, acting besides your dad. Coming from a film family, how has this kind of helped you get into the film business? Because one could say it's already in your blood.
Yeah. Of course, it has helped. I have done some works besides Jalmari's film, a few short films and one feature film and some voice acting and but my first feature film Skavapölen pojat, I applied for it when I was probably 7 years
Mm.
old.
So you had to go through an audition.
Yes, and
Right.
there was like something.
They was asking.
Oh, they asked me to
Yes.
come to the audition.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, yeah, but there was like 600, 700 other boys applying for the same role,
Hmm.
and I got it.
You got it. Tough
Yes,
competition, but you beat them all.
yes, but of course, uh, working in rare exports and Sisu and big game have been helpful in the business, and I think it's a good thing that people see you and what you got. It opens up new doors in the industry.
Very much so. Watching Big Game, I was personally very impressed because you were going toe to toe with Samuel L. Jackson, and this is a man who's been in over 100 movies, and he's an A-lister from Hollywood.
Yes,
And Jorma was also in the movie playing your dad, your real life dad, playing your on-screen dad as well. So
yes.
talk to me, both of you, about that experience getting to work with an A-lister from Hollywood within in your home country. How was it all like? How did it happen? So I got this book a couple months back, and that's you right there. I had no idea this film was based on a book. I mean,
No,
No.
it's the other way around.
is
That
it? So
yeah,
the
book
movie
was
came first.
Yes.
yes, yes.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Talk to me about Big Game.
Well, it's quite a long time ago. What is it like 9 years ago?
Yes.
9 years.
2000, yeah, 13 or 14, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember much of the details, but I don't think I kind of understood it fully at the because I
Okay.
was yeah I knew who Samuel L. Jackson was. I have seen Star Wars movies and other of his works. I knew who he was but maybe it didn't like fully hit me at the time.
Hmm.
I was very nervous at first. I remember that, but we we came along really well, like fast. I was nervous for the start, but things came out really well, and we were like buddies at the set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And of course, yes, Jorma was also in the film playing my dad. Maybe that made it a bit easier because he is actually my dad. Yes, you can say.
I was working in that film only 4 days.
Yeah,
I,
it's not that much.
Only 4 days.
yes, and I was working in theater in that time in here.
Right.
So it was little role and only for 4 days.
I wanna hear about your experiences working in theater. Also, we'll get to that eventually.
Yes. Niin, mä oikeastaan ehtinyt tutustua ollenkaan tuohon esimerkiksi Samuel Jacksoniin.
Joo.
Me oltiin ehkä 2 tuntia niin kuin töissä samaan aikaan. Se oli sikäli ihan helppoa. Enkä mä nyt kuitenkaan niin kuin ollut sun tukena siellä, että kyllä sä hoidit sen homma ihan itse.
So Jorma was saying that he can't really say that much about working with Samuel because they were probably like 2 hours in total, like actually on the set at the same time.
Right.
So he can't really say much about it. And what comes to acting as my father and being there, Jorma said that he really didn't have to do anything because I was handling it so well myself.
That was quite visible on screen.
Okay,
From-
good.
Yeah, no, from start to finish, like the determination that your character, he wants to hunt his first kill, and the disappointment that you face, the little betrayal that you kind of undergo when you figure out like your dad has killed a deer for you, like that entire journey, and then you bring home the biggest catch of all, the president of the United States. So that's a really nice character arc, for a hunter, a passage of a coming of age story in a certain way, and you handle it really, really well. I actually have to say, man, like, I mean, as young as you were, congrats, because you went toe to toe, shoulder to shoulder with Samuel L. Jackson, and that, I'm sure, is no small task.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, and so Jorma, you also do theater. So talk to me about working in theater versus working in cinema and television. What's it like in Finland? Like how has it been throughout the ages?
Se varmaan ymmärsit.
Joo. No, elokuva ja teatteri on aika tosi paljon erilaista tekemistä. Ja teatterissa työskentely on aika sitovaa täällä Suomessa. Se on niin kuin melkein koko vuosi tavallaan. Kesät on vapaat, mutta se on niin kuin noin ainakin 3 ensi-iltaa vuodessa. Elokuusta toukokuuhun.
So Jorma was saying that acting in theater is a lot different than in TV or movies. And here in Finland, if you act in a theater and in plays, it's kind of, you don't get to really have any holidays, or it's hard to, for an example, go act in a film when you're working in the theater, because it's like I can't find the word.
Because you're like always involved in the production. You have to go
Yes,
for
yeah.
rehearsals. Yeah.
Yes. So it's really hard to leave. And there's about three plays in a year. Also
3-4.
3-4.
Ja sitten taas elokuva, niin Suomessa tehdään kuitenkin aika paljon, aika vähän elokuvia. Niin jos sä teet pelkästään elokuvia, niin se on keikkatyötä. Niin aina ei niin kuin löydy rooleja saattaa olla, että on pitkiä aikoja. Jos pelkästään tekee niin kuin leffaa, niin saattaa olla, että on työttömiä aikoja, pitkiä aikoja, jolloin ei niin kuin yksinkertaisesti ole töitä. Että jossain vaiheessa mä jouduin valitsemaan sitten teatterin, koska teatteri on niin kuin, sillä tavalla niin kuin sulla niin kuin, se on niin kuin taloudellisesti paljon turvallisempaa olla teatterissa töissä kuin tehdä leffoja Suomessa. Ne on kuitenkin aika vähissä ne elokuvatyöt täällä.
So what Jorma was saying is acting and filmmaking in Finland, it can be hard because there isn't really that much of roles to play, because Finland doesn't produce that many films. And if that's the only thing you do, then you can have time periods where you just don't have any role to play. And that's why originally Jorma started to act in the theater.
Right, because it's more, you get into theater, you are working more often than you are not.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, like I said earlier, Finnish cinema is a bit of a blind spot for me. But like you said, there's not many films that come out of Finland that often. And I'm assuming your film industry is pretty small. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. But looking at the quality of the two films that I've seen, Big Game and Sisu, both directed by Jalmari, by Jalmari. I mean, I can safely say that it's definitely on par with the standard of the rest of the world. Like, you take a movie coming out of Hollywood, Big Game and Sisu, they're on the same standard, man. Like, same level. So I'm surprised as to why we don't see more movies, coming from Finland. Why do you guys think that is?
Suomessa tehdään aika paljon elokuvia, jotka on niin kuin suomalaisia. Täällä on todella paljon niin kuin hyviä tekijöitä, hyviä näyttelijöitä, hyviä ohjaajia. Ja myöskin teatterissa. Mutta täällä on aina ollut sellainen perinne, että se on kehittynyt koko ajan toiseen suuntaan. Tuotannot on enemmän kansainvälistynyt. Mutta täällä on kuitenkin tehty niin kuin periaatteella, että sillä tavalla, että ne ei ole niin kaupallisia nämä tuotannot.
niin kuin maailmanlaajuisesti.
Maailmanlaajuisesti.
Joo.
Niitä ei ajatella niin
Mä
kansainvälisesti, vaan tehdään
pysäytän
enemmän.
sut ennen kuin mä
Joo.
muistan. So there are a lot of good actors and directors and filmmakers in Finland in the movie industry and in the theater, but Finland produces a lot of like Finnish movies that aren't really they are made maybe like in a certain way to, how do I say it, like not internationally.
Not commercial.
I understand Jalmari, Big Game and Sisu were a bit different because we speak English and it's understandable and everything like that. But it has gone maybe a bit that way in the recent years that Finnish movies are starting to get more international. Eikö se niin ollut tässä sanoa?
Joo, it's developing.
It's developing
all the time. And we get money from the abroad more and people who ihmiset tulee tekemään yhteistyötä meidän kanssa enemmän kuin ennen. Ja ne on yhteistyökumppaneita ulkomailta paljon enemmän kuin ennen.
Yeah.
Me ollaan
so we have more
yksin täällä elokuviemme kanssa.
Yes.
Ei ole ollut niin paljon yhteistyötä.
Yeah, so there are people steadily flowing in from aboard to help us. I can't find the actual word.
What you're talking about is producers who are willing to fund movies in Finland. The number of people that it's kind of increased in the recent past.
Yeah. So before we were mostly like alone Finnish movies.
Right. So from what I understand, there hasn't been much of financial support within Finland itself, but it has been changing in the past, say, 10 years or so, with more foreign financing coming into the country.
Yes.
So that allows movies like Sisu and Big Game to meet the international standards. Got it. That's interesting. And coming down to, so I want to talk a little bit about Sisu because the very first time I saw the trailer, I was waiting for the movie to be released. I was eagerly checking the release dates. And once it came out on digital, that was the first thing I did. So I can't remember the date exactly, but that was the first thing I did in the morning. I went to the site and I downloaded it and I watched it the same evening. And because I love action movies and war movies, in especially something that takes place in World War II. That was amazing, seeing the brutality, the violence of it. I'm not much of a violent person, but I enjoy watching it because it had the Tarantino feel about it, and it had the whole one man fighting against Nazis, that John Wick, Rambo kind of feel about it as well. So this was kind of like a mix of things that we've seen in Hollywood, but done elsewhere in the world, in Finland, which is something we haven't seen. And Jorma's performance was insane in the sense that he does not speak a single word until the very final scene. So he's, you are emoting throughout the entire movie and communicating with the audience through your expressions, through your body language. And I found that performance so intense. And I absolutely love that. So you did a brilliant job on the movie. And
I agree totally.
Yeah. And I was so glad that this movie got more exposure. You know, I've been seeing articles online. I've been seeing people debating about the movie, writing about it. Even here in Sri Lanka, people compare it with other Hollywood movies, and that I think no matter whether they compare it favorably or unfavorably, it's the film is getting its exposure, the exposure that it deserves, the publicity. So I think maybe the fact that you guys did it in English, it's made in Finland, but people are speaking in English within the movie. Probably that helped the exposure. Do you guys think?
Yes, I do think so.
Yeah. Jorma, talk to me a little bit about. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Auttoiko
niin,
se, että niinku,
Joo.
kansainvälistymistä, että puhuttiin englantia, mikä suomeksi?
mun mielestä se, mä en ole ihan varma, mutta mä luulisin, että se on niin kuin tullut rahoittajilta. Se täytyy olla englanniksi, mun käsittääkseni.
Okay. So Jorma said that he thinks that it was the financiers wanted Sisu to be made in English, that we talk English. So
Just sen takia, että se menestyisi paremmin ulkomailla.
yeah, for the reason that it would succeed better abroad.
Which it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it did.
Jorma, talk to me about making this movie. We see you are a veteran in the film industry. You've been acting for 30 years, and you are playing essentially who is a war veteran, a commando, an ex-commando, who is past his prime, but he still goes ahead massacring Nazis. What was the process of preparation like for this movie? Because you need to be fit enough to shoot all these scenes, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Mistäs mä alkaisin? No ensinnäkin Jalmarihan kirjoitti tämän niin kuin mua silmällä pitäen, koko tarinan. Että koska me ollaan Jalmarin kanssa tehty niin pitkään töitä, niin hän tunsi mun niin kuin kapasiteetin, että mihin mä pystyn. Ja jotenkin niin kuin mun ylipäätään niin kuin hahmo, niin vahvuudet ja mun niin kuin mieshahmo inspiroi häntä niin kuin tekemään tämän elokuvan.
Yeah. So first off, when Jalmari wrote Sisu, he knew that Jorma was going to play the role of Aatami because he knew what Jorma was capable of and what are his strengths in acting. Ja mitä muuta sä sanoitkaan?
Mutta niin. No häntä niin kuin, että Jalmaria niin kuin inspiroi se asia viemään tämän niin kuin käsikirjoituksen loppuun.
And Jalmari was inspired by Jorma and his charisma, sort of. That's what
mun jotenkin niin kuin hahmo oikeassakin elämässä.
Yeah, like what Jorma is in real life. That's what inspired Jalmari to make this.
Niin näyttelijänä kylläkin.
Okay.
As an actor, Jorma. No, not in real life. I actually think there are a lot of similarities in Aatami and Jorma. Massacring.
Tell me a little bit about that. Does he go around beating you at home the same way?
Absolutely not.
Se voisin sanoa vielä, että mä oon niin kuin, saanut teatterikoulutuksen sellaisena aikana Suomessa, kun tämänkaltainen näyttelijän taide oli niin kuin, mä oon saanut niin kuin koulutuksen tähän Jouko Turkan aikaan. jolloin paljon niin kuin keskityttiin fyysiseen ilmaisuun ja semmoisen niin kuin sisäisen ilmaisun tuomiseen niin kuin käsikosketeltavaksi.
Yeah. Joo.
Ja siihen, se on se asia, minkä Jalmari on nähnyt mussa, että musta niin kuin näyttelijänä on tällainen, niin kuin, mun näyttelijän työssä on niin kuin pohjana tämän kaltainen työskentely. Ja
odota hetki.
Joo.
This is going to be a bit hard to explain, but I'll try my best. So, Jorma studied in theater academy at the 80s, and this was like a different time. Times have changed, and the studying is not. It has changed, and in the 80s it was a lot more like physical, and
the focus was in
focus was in physical performance and what's inside, and Jalmari saw that this is like the base of acting that Jorma does.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's actually interesting. So the base of learning acting back in the 80s, and now it's changed. So back then it was way more physical and based on emotions and body language, I take it. Whereas now it's different. So you come from that old school theater background. So Jalmari saw that and wrote the character in such a way where he played to your strengths.
Yes.
Exactly.
Got it. That's fascinating.
Mä työskentelin teatterikoulun jälkeen ryhmässä, joka teki monta tällaista niin kuin juttua, mikä oli just niin kuin fyysistä ja perustui tähän fyysiseen teatteriin. Olin tällaisissa ryhmissä mukana, jotka teki pienimuotoista teatteria Helsingissä. Kokeilevaa teatteria.
Yeah, and after Jorma studies, he was in a few groups that did like these kinds of physical acting plays in Helsinki also.
Sitten toinen asia tästä, niin kuin, mihin mä perustin tavallaan ton Aatamin roolihenkilön, niin mä oon elänyt tai ollut pieni poika silloin, kun vielä Suomessa oli sotaveteraaneja ja munkin lähipiirissä oli monet niin kuin vanhemmat miehet, niin, he oli käynyt läpi sodan ja mä tunsin, tai mulla oli helppo tavallaan samaistua tuohon Aatamin rooliin, koska mä tiesin minkälaisia ihmisiä ne oli, jotka oli sen sodan käynyt läpi. Mikä se heidän niin kuin sellainen sisäinen maailma oli ja ne haavat, mitkä oli jäänyt sieltä sodasta. Ja jotenkin ne ihmiset oli sellaisia, että niissä oli niin kuin, tavallaan niin kuin, niiden ympärillä oli koko ajan se sodan kauhu ja kuolema. Niissä oli tavallaan semmoinen ilmapiiri niissä ihmisissä, että ne oli käynyt helvetin läpi.
And Jorma was saying that he had also one of his like inspirations and base for the character of Aatami he took from war veterans because when Jorma was a little boy, he had war veterans in like as neighbors, and
my stepfather also was in.
So he got to like
actually witness how they behaved.
What were they like, and kind of the inside world and hell and the wounds that they had inside of them. Mental, yeah.
The mental space from where they function. So you drew inspiration from those characters and channel it into Aatami Korpi. Nice, nice. That's fantastic. I absolutely you know I love the fact that uh, Sisu is it kind of borderlines on fantasy also because like you have a man who refuses to die and he can't be killed. The Nazis literally hang him, but he still comes back. And that was kind of the point in the movie where I was like, okay, that's not realistic, but I like it because it really shows the determination and the grit of this man who has no purpose, whose only one purpose in life is to refuse to die. And that was like, I saw people were talking about it. They were, people were divided whether they liked it or not, whether it was realistic or not. But in my opinion, like it served the whole purpose of the story, and you're not creating a documentary, right? It's a film. It's meant to entertain.
Yes.
And with that, I'm assuming that Yalmari, when he wrote the movie, I think you guys might have had discussions about the character. This is realistic. This is not so realistic. Talk to me about that process because I'm really interested in hearing about how this project came about.
Ymmärsitkö?
Joo. Mun mielestä Jalmari kanssa, Jalmari ohjasi tämän, niin kuin, tätä Aatamin hahmoa sillä tavalla, että se on koko ajan niin kuin tosissaan. Se elää niin kuin tässä maailmassa ja se on niin kuin, siinä ei ole, hänen elämässään ja siinä toiminnassa ei niin kuin periaatteessa ole mitään niin kuin fantasiaa, vaan se on oikea ihminen oikeasti sodasta. Mutta nämä tilanteet menee sitten ja tarina etenee tällä tavalla. Et kuitenkin Aatami ei koe elämänsä fantasiassa, vaan se on todellinen.
Jorma
Mutta elokuva sitten niinku laajenee fantasiaksi. Se kuitenkin sota ja nämä tapahtumat, mitä sodassa tapahtuu, ne on monasti niin kuin fantasiaa ja taruja ihmeellisempiä, mitä oikeassa elämässä tapahtuu. Sieltä on paljon niin kuin, ihmisiä on taistelukentiltä tullut paljon takaisin sellaisia, joiden ei olisi pitänyt säilyä hengissä.
Joo.
Ja on juuri tällaisia niin kuin sisutarinoita suomalaisesta sisusta, miten miehet niin kuin palasivat sieltä taisteluista, vaikka ne niin kuin oli käynyt niin kuin kuoleman rajalla.
Yeah. So Jorma said that Jalmari directed this Sisu in a way that Aatami himself as a character is realistic, and that to him the events are not fantasy, but so Aatami is realistic, but the events that come by and happen maybe are a little unrealistic, but it's also true what Jorma said, that there has been a lot of miracles that are more amazing than like what happened, and real stories of soldiers coming back to hell that like shouldn't have come back.
True. I get what you're saying, because like you listen to people who come back from the war, they have crazier stories about how they survived various incidents, and you compare that and this. Yes, this is way more realistic in that sense, I guess. So I understand.
Aatami kertoo tätä tarinaa. Näiden monien sotureiden tarina.
So Aatami kind of tells the story of these soldiers who have come back from hell.
Got it. Yeah, and how has the reception been internationally? Because I think this might as well be your biggest hit, right? Like the biggest film of both your careers so far.
Yeah, what was the question?
How has the reception been from the international audience, from where you guys are? How has it been? Have people reached out? Have you seen people talking about it? And if so, like, how has the reception been?
In Finland or from
outside Finland? From outside.
The reception has been good. Very good.
Yes, in Finland
and abroad. And I have gotten some messages and people reaching out and telling how they liked Sisu and how it was amazing and entertaining and all that kind of stuff. Onko sulle tullut?
On. Yeah.
And Jorma has had stuff like that too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Does this mean that we'll probably see more English language movies from Finland? Because, I mean, this film, in a way, kind of tested the waters within an international market. And it's been successful, right? So as actors, do you guys think you'll probably, move more into like English-speaking roles at some point?
Like us personally, or in the whole film?
Just you guys. Just you guys.
Well, I hope to. I think it would be exciting to play abroad somewhere in a film that isn't Finnish. What about Jorma?
Let's see.
Let's see.
I'm working in theater.
Yeah, he's working in theater, so.
Yeah, but it would be nice to see you, get back into films more. Yeah.
But in Finland, I hope so. That we have very, very good filmmakers and actors, and I hope so that we are going to abroad.
Yeah.
More.
No, that's I really want to see. I want to see that happen because it's very evident after seeing just these two movies. And I read up somewhere that Jalmari wanted to make a different movie, not Sisu, and then that didn't happen. And then he made Sisu instead. So he was working on another movie for quite some time, and then he wrote Sisu in quite a short period of time, and it ended up becoming as amazing as it is right now. So I can only imagine what the other movie could possibly have been like. So I really, really want to see more movies coming out of Finland because you guys are really talented.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you so much.
What about, so talk to me a little bit more about your family. So your mom, your wife, I think she's a set decorator.
Yes.
Yeah. And does she still do that? Do you guys or does the whole family go out and work on a film set? Or does that not happen anymore?
She was in film industry. We met in the film. We was making same film. But when Onni born, she stay home. And now he is working
Onni, what did you do, man?
Yeah,
in film school.
I was too much.
No. What I'm saying. Now he's teacher in school.
Oh, she's teaching.
Yes, she's teaching.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you are about to go out on your own and study as well. You want to talk a little bit about that, Onni?
Yeah. So after summer, I have to actually move to Helsinki. Helsinki is the capital of Finland. So I'm going to move there now at the end of the summer and start like theater studies. So I'm going to be studying and practicing singing and dancing and acting, both in front of the camera and in place in theater.
Got it. So you're gonna follow in your dad's footsteps, hopefully, and end up in theater also.
Yeah. I would. I didn't much. I gotta say, I didn't much enjoy theater as a kid, but when I have grown up, I have started to like it more, and I could possibly see myself acting in a theater
Gotcha.
there.
And you are already, I think you are 22, 23?
I'm 23. Yes.
23. And probably when you go off to college, you'll have the paparazzi behind you because you're already a star over there, aren't you?
Kind of like that, but Finnish people.
Your dad's laughing, man. Look at him.
Finnish people are quite silent, and I think that most of the time it's like that people have they just stare, but they don't really come up, or rarely they come up to say anything, because we
Really?
are
Okay.
Finnish people, we are kind of silent. And
But I also heard that you guys are like the happiest nation on the planet.
yeah, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think I have had like I most definitely have had like more people reach out from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, also in Finland, but more from outside. Finnish people, they rarely come up to me and say something like, "Oh, you're from Big Game." That happens too, but
Very
it's
rare.
yeah, it's not that common. Usually,
Yeah.
it's just staring.
This question goes out to both of you. What big franchise movie would you want to be a part of? And this can be anything that's currently running or even something back from the 80s, 90s, you know?
Tough question.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mikä se itse asiassa oli se kysymys?
Ja missä tämmöisessä isossa elokuvassa haluaisit olla mukana tai ollut mukana, niin kuin joku, joka on ehkä tulossa tai ollut, missä sä haluaisit olla mukana?
Siis joku mennyt elokuva.
Niin, tai tulevakin, jos missä sä olisit halunnut niin kuin näytellä kaikista elokuvista?
Missä?
En mä tiedä.
Tough one?
Yeah, I think I would really like to be a part of a Marvel movie.
Hmm.
Marvel, because I was a big fan of Spider-Man when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, all you got to do is call Nick Fury, and he'll put you in the Avengers, man.
yeah,
He's your buddy.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
call up and say that I have a favor to ask Sam.
Yeah.
Get me to a Marvel movie.
And Yorma?
Joo.
Terminator.
Hulk.
Hulk movie.
I think Terminator is more your drift. I'd like to see
Okay.
like a Finnish version of Terminator, you know? You
Yeah.
definitely fit the vibe. But Hulk too, okay.
Would you want to play
I
as
like
Hulk?
I like green color.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I really hope that, the international, let's just say Hollywood, for lack of a better term. I honestly actually hope Hollywood takes better note of guys like you. And now that, I mean, even though movies like Sisu, the fact that it was made in English definitely gave it a boost up on the international stage. Even if you did a movie in Finnish, there's a chance that people from other countries can still enjoy it as long as it's a good story and you have subtitles. Like movies like Parasite, they won the best picture, and it was entirely in Korean. And more Korean movies are being made. Like Netflix definitely changed the game during the pandemic, with more people being stuck inside the house and not being able to go to cinema. But what happened as a result was that they were more exposed to world cinema and movies from other countries. So they were forced to sit down and check what else was on the catalog besides your usual English language content. So I
Mm.
really hope that people take more note of what you guys are doing out over there, and eventually you guys end up playing on a much bigger stage as well.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I'm just going to cut this part as well? Is there anything else that you guys want to specifically talk about with any of your movies?
Nothing comes to my mind. I
Yorma?
think you had great questions.
Yes.
I hope they were okay. What is going on?
Absolutely.
Good.
I don't think I have nothing more to add.
I'll wrap it up with one final question in that case.
Yeah.
So, has there been anything else from a different walk of life, like besides filmmaking, besides acting? Like let's say a sport that you have played, or a little hobby that you've had that has, unconsciously helped your acting careers. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you played a sport that helped you guys out, or is there anything that had transferable skills?
Yes, I have actually also, like my mom, I have uh, worked in a school as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like it is kind of similar to acting because you are in front of students and you have to have a loud and clear voice and some like
Charisma.
yeah and charisma,
True,
and
true, true.
I think it has helped in some ways, maybe to be like more open and just like more charismatic on stage.
I agree with you because I teach at an institute, so I get where you're coming from. You have to be energetic. You have to put on a face and make
Mm,
sure that the students understand you, and at the same time, deliver your lines or your knowledge as
mm,
best as you can. So in a
mm,
way, you're right. I mean, it is a performance. It is a
yeah.
performance. Yeah. Yorma, anything that has helped you from a different walk of life?
En mä tiedä, siis urheilu. Öö, Mähän on alkanut, tai mennyt ensimmäisen kerran niin kuin karatetunneille 70-luvulla.
Mm,
Ja sen jälkeen aika pitkään niin kuin harrastanut eri lajeja.
mm,
Ja tämä fyysinen, ja ollut tosi niin kuin kiinnostunut niistä ja treenannut aika paljonkin. Se kyllä, se kokemus, mikä mulla niistä oli, niin auttoi tässä Sisu-elokuvassa tosi paljon
yeah.
suorittamaan sen loppuun.
So Jorma started karate lessons in 70s, in the 70s originally, and he has done a lot of different sports and martial arts after that too, and he thinks that helps and has helped in the physical part of acting and also in Sisu.
Brilliant. I'm just gonna go a little bit more on that. So you see, I have a couple of nunchucks over here in the background as well. So I come from a martial arts background too. My dad, he's an instructor. He's been a sensei for I think like well over 40 years. So you studied karate. You studied what other martial arts have you done? Because I mean, you were performing your own stunts, right?
Thai boxing later.
Thai boxing,
Yes.
kickboxing,
And
amazing.
90s. And some kind of mixed
Mixed martial arts.
Yes, there was the Brazilian,
Jiu-jitsu.
yes, and then the standing. It was like Thai boxing, and Brazilian wrestling.
Right. So that's quite a few. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it makes sense because I mean,
Not anymore.
did you have a stuntman on Sisu?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But I was doing quite a lot of this.
That did look like you. That certainly did look like you pulling a lot of the weight on screen, and it
Yes,
seems like you're still keeping fit, which is great.
yes. But I didn't ride horse when it was running, this kind of things. But I was riding a horse, but not when it was running because it's too dangerous.
Too dangerous. Yeah, yeah. But man, overall, like it's amazing what you guys did. Only you were also in Sisu, albeit in a smaller capacity than Big Game. But
Mm,
you father son duo, you've done quite a lot. Like in my books, you are the only actors that I kind of actually know from Finland. So you've done amazingly well, and I really really hope that you guys go on to the next level, and I really hope that we'll be seeing more of you. So thank you so much for joining us today, and yeah, man, wishing you guys all the very best, and till next
yes.
time.
Same to you. Thank you for
Thank-
having us.
thank-
It was a
thank
pleasure.
you. Yes.
Thank you guys. Till
Yes.
next time. This is Junkyard Theory, folks.